Hey, how you doing? Welcome to DJ Slam's Thin and the Herd. Um, I'm very pleased to be here, even though things are so hectic because life can get like that. This is my first podcast during the Christmas season. I truly hope it won't be the last. So, I always said that sometimes I would make a video from home, which I did a few. But this one is aired on my schedule Wednesdays at noon. So I always try to keep it real. I'm here to teach about my journey and the meager beginnings that I had and the great success that I experienced as a professional bodyguard. Traveled just a little bit. Um, Met some celebrities, worked hard for some celebrities because I believe in entertainment, I believe in the arts, um, and I felt it was an honor to actually help protect individuals that I know inside my soul, individuals that touch people's lives. Now, with that said, I'm here to talk about the Sean Combs and Suge Knight situation. I'm hoping I will get around to mentioning the difference between Christopher Wallace and Tupac Shakur. First, I want a preference. I admire anyone that sincerely tries to help their community. I almost despise, but I'm definitely disappointed in individuals that will use and exploit their community. And there's a difference. The powers that be that do not have close to the amount of God gifted talents that African Americans have, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. A number of people will agree with me. But there's some people that know because of the bottom line when it comes to profits and global marketing, African Americans cannot be beat when it comes to entertainment. All right? So, like I said, that's my opinion. Um, Numbers and dollars do not lie, nor does the global community. So, I'm very proud of where I'm from. I struggled. Um, I have many struggles now, but I've come a long way. I don't know how other people feel, but I personally went through some great disappointment and even depression when I had risen to the point where I could stay in certain areas, exclusive areas. I can remember one particular Christmas when I was able to buy gifts for all of my siblings and their families. That felt really good. And I believe God allowed me to be successful enough just to see what that's like. But it has not been easy. And I've been fired for dressing too well. Okay? I mean, it's like the ups and downs, but hey, I had a good time, right? So, I have a lot of respect for people who have achieved something, but I have little to no respect for individuals who have been blessed with a lot and actually use, exploit, hurt, and abuse people. So, I'm not with that. I also know how to stay in my own lane. So, from what I have learned from my walk with God and experiencing the blessings that I have and seeing the things that I've seen, a very small part or margin of my lane is telling some basic truths as I know it. And I don't go too far, because it's not my lane to go too far. But it is my responsibility to do what I feel I'm called to do. So, I won't be making any major exposures, but I am going to talk about the difference between someone that does not use their fame, their fortune, or their power to hurt, abuse, or exploit, and an individual that has a gift, works hard, creates a product, and it's a job, but they take it as a responsibility and they're not trying to do freak offs. All right? I mean, certain stuff is just way out. There's always been signs, but maybe if a few people had stayed in their lane and told some truth, or at least didn't lie for somebody or cover up for somebody that was doing wrong, maybe certain people wouldn't get away with certain stuff. So now, if I can just get you to stay right in that mode, I'm trying to talk about responsibilities. I'm going to cut straight to the chase. I want you to be aware of this. There are certain powers behind the scenes, the puppet masters in the entertainment industry that have plants that are there to help promote their agenda. There are certain people, they may not even realize what their benefactor's agenda is, and some people don't care as long as they get paid. Okay? So somebody has to speak out a little bit. And like I said, I haven't been around a whole lot, but I have been in the same room with some of the most famous people. I'll say a handful of some of the most famous people in the whole world. And I pay close attention. Then I pray every day and every night. I pray. And I'm talking to God throughout the day, mostly every day. So what I have seen, I knew wasn't right. It took years and years later for certain things to come to light. But I never was going to fool myself or lie to myself or cover for somebody that wasn't right, in my opinion. So I want to make a distinction, in my opinion and my theory, between Christopher Wallace and Tupac Shakur. Now, I truthfully confess that I'm like a huge fan of both of these individuals. But I was in the same space with both of these African American talented geniuses. And I saw some things. And I saw some red flags. And I saw some things that I admire. Some of you probably know where I'm going with this. No doubt, there are some of you that have been brainwashed, led to believe the hype. Here's a fact, a foundational fact. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Okay? There are some gray areas, But certain stuff is just wrong. We can lie to ourselves and pretend that it's not wrong. And we can pretend that some things is all right, it's okay. But deep down, we know when something just ain't quite right. I never co-sign on something that my spirit tells me is not right. This is what I want to put out there. And like, I don't know who's hearing this, who's going to listen to it. I don't do a lot of promotion. The people that follow me have followed me for a long time. But I don't believe for 1 second, because of the information that I've acquired and things that I've seen, I do not believe for 1 second that Biggie Smalls had something to do with Tupac getting shot. Okay? Now, I'm finna go really way out for some of y'all, but the people that was there, they know what I'm about to say is true. The people that did the ballistic reports know that what I'm about to say is true. The people that got the rap, took the rap for shooting, I did not say killing. And I'm just not going to be walking around here saying unalive. I don't do that type of stuff. It's funny to me. But the people that got the blame for shooting Tupac really didn't shoot him. Now, that's my opinion, but it's based on some facts. It's based on some ballistics. It's based on some accounts that add up. Innately, those of us that follow, even social media, it don't add up that Biggie Smalls would have something to do with that. But check this out. Especially in this climate of this year, there are people that just want to believe in a certain celebrity no matter what. And normally, the celebrities that you shouldn't believe so much in are the loudest. They make the most noise. Normally. But if we don't start to tell some truth in our lanes, people, you know who I'm talking to, the ones that know that was there. If we don't say something, I'm not saying say everything, but if we don't say something, we're going to help the individuals that are lying and know that they're lying. I grieve for every tragedy of an African American that has a good heart. I'm going to leave it right there. If we are to go forward and be the people that I truly believe God wants us to be, we're going to have to face some uncomfortable facts about some other people that we have looked up to and admired. It's the only way. We have to build a nation on a sure foundation. When a foundation has a crack in it, like a lie, like my thesis about Thomas Jefferson being a molester, okay? That doesn't take away from the great things that he did. But to tell the truth, the whole truth, and then nothing but the truth, That's how we grow. Many times the whole truth is uncomfortable. Many times saying nothing but the truth and not throwing in little innuendos and misleading people, a lot of times that seems like the best way to achieve a certain agenda. But it weakens the foundation. You can build a house on a weak foundation, but it will surely fall under the right circumstances. So I'm only going to say a little of my truth from my experience and what I saw. But God allowed me to see these things for a reason. And it's my responsibility to stay in my lane and tell some of the truth. And be able to separate facts from opinion. I want to give an example because I feel that this will help him. If he was to hear this, or somebody told him, he think, I don't know what I'm talking about, and he don't need no help, because sometimes people can become so successful, especially when they're young, that they don't even really believe that they need God. It don't matter if they thank God as they're receiving an award from people. Some of them really believe that they are not only entitled, but they did it on their own accord, and God does not deserve their praise, their worship, or their guidance. That's their right, because they have a free will. But that doesn't make it right. Just because you have a right to do something doesn't make it right. It all depends on who says what your right is. But there are certain rights that no human being can be alienated from. That's the right to be alive because God gives life. It is the right to be free because that's a part of what free will is. And the right to chase happiness, to be happy, to find a spouse, or to be single and stay single, if that's what makes you happy. You have the right to fervently chase happiness. You do not have the right to abuse people, because maybe some people feel like they're happy when they use or abuse somebody. These are fundamental facts that are actually universal. And really, it doesn't have to be proved. When you have some mustard seed of goodness in your heart, you know what's right and what's wrong. But first we have to be honest. Even if we're not ready to do the right thing, we have to first admit that we are doing the wrong thing, and then have the desire to not do the wrong thing. There are some people that are inhuman. That's why you call certain people monsters. Because the average, the normal, the majority of human beings do not like to cause harm and pain. But it's a big number that does. And that's what they like to do. That's their thing. I'm here to talk about the people who are the enablers that could have spoke up. They could have stood up. Or even could have just honestly prayed to a God of their own understanding that somebody that's doing wrong and hurting somebody is stopped. Or pray that they see the light. Some people don't want to see the light. Martin Luther King said, we're equally guilty if we can do something. And that's something, like I said, it could be praying. And we don't. He said we're equally guilty. I kind of believe that. It makes sense to me. So I want you, if you're listening to me right now, I would like for you to believe and know that you are important. You may not feel like it. You might not be in a position that you feel is important. But we're all connected in this universe, on this planet. There's a connection because we're breathing the same air. We're on the same single planet. You are important. Whatever you're going through, and it might seem insurmountable, you are important. And once you know that, and you know that you know that, no amount of evil can take that thought away from you. You don't even have to tell nobody. But you do have to believe that you are important. If you're going to be the best version of yourself. So, that's all I'm going to say. I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes. It's the holiday season, and man, do I got a lot to do. I already started, but I have a lot to do. It's important for me to continuously do my best to make these podcasts. It's healing for me. It's making me feel atoned for the few occasions that I can remember where I could have did something and helped somebody that was in need. I forgive myself, but I'm repenting now by sharing what I observed, what I saw, and my guidance to do something so we can go and move forward. We have wandered in the wilderness too long. Too many people have made so many advances to open the door for us. We owe it to them. We should acknowledge the ancestors because we wouldn't be free in this land of selfishness and entitlement and privilege. You know what I'm talking about. We would not be free if it wasn't for good people of different backgrounds and different ethnicities that stood up against evil. That's why we honor the veterans. Because they did something. I want to thank you. Don't be discouraged for this upcoming year because things are happening for a reason. Now, I'm not justifying bad things, but God has never left us. We leave God, or we leave God out. I'm proud to say that I know that there is a higher power that is benevolent. And I also understand there's also energies, personalities, and principalities that do not care and feel that it's their job to hurt, steal, and kill. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being patient with me. And I just really want to thank the people that have followed me. That gave me encouragement when I didn't feel like doing something. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't feel like making this podcast today because I didn't really feel like I had something important to offer because I'm distracted. And what I have to say has to be built on the foundation of certain facts. But I can give you my opinion. Thank you for listening. God bless you. And it's going to be a great year, because God is doing something, and there's more than me that are going to be standing up for what is right. Thanks a lot. I will see you guys later. You're always welcome in my home.